All right. Speaking of roadie, we got Iron
Speaking of
Man
Odie.
number 7
Pick
uh, pick of the week. Yeah,
of the week. Yeah,
your
this is
pick
my
of the
pick of the
week.
week.
I'm not gonna do the gong because my sounds are all jacked off. So
Your
this is
sounds
Nate's.
are jacked off.
They're broken.
That's
Is
what
the
you
thing.
just said. You
Did
just
I
said
say
your
jacked
sounds.
off? Oops. I was trying to say they're not working, and I have them turned
Yeah,
off.
jacked off. Okay, buddy.
Okay. Anyway, this is Nate's pick of the week.
You can cut that part out of YouTube.
Nah, we're gonna leave it in. I misspoke.
Yeah. So we basically pick up with the gang still chasing Korvac out in space. And Rhodey and Tony are sort of doing some tune-ups to their suit. We get a nice little subtle reminder that Tony's neck is still broken and
Yeah.
being held together by the suit, which is absolutely ridiculous. And we've still got all of our absolutely ridiculous side characters still hanging out on the ship as well. We got Scarlet Spider, Frogman, Misty Knight,
Gargoyle.
and Gargoyle. And they have a little bit of a philosophic conversation, which I want to get back to at the end of the book. But basically, this book is a lot of exposition and not a ton of bang bang, fight 'em up, sort of fighting scenes.
Let me interject real quick.
Please.
That being said, I think it's definitely necessary deposition for sure. Like, this was not boring.
No, just the opposite. And as a matter of fact, I think that the deposition is why this is the deposition is the reason why this is my pick of the week.
Right. Yeah.
So I just to sum it all up really quickly, we're basically getting an insight into everybody that's involved in this book. We get some talking between these minor characters, and then we get a few moments between Hellcat and Tony, and then finally Tony suggests to Hellcat that maybe if Korvac can tap into your mind and kind of see what's going on and show you things, why can't you do that in reverse and try to tap into his mind? And that's exactly what she does, and it works out well. And she's able to bring Tony along as well. So Tony, Hellcat, and Korvac essentially have this philosophical conversation about why is Korvac doing this? Why are you trying to create this utopia? Tony's like, legitimately, I'm not trying to fuck with you. Like, just
tell me what's going on. Yeah,
explain it to me legitimately. And Korvac's kind of taken aback. Like, he's like, you seriously want to, you actually want to know? And Tony's like, yeah, I do. And so basically what he describes is what he feels, what Korvac feels is a utopia, and it's really not. It's really not. It's everything is so equal and so plain and so the same. What is it that they keep calling it? The aggregate. You keep saying, you're not going to have your own feelings anymore. You're going to be part of the aggregate, the sum of all parts. And we really see how Korvac just doesn't think like a human. That the fact that he thinks that is a utopia is, just not what it's going to be.
Well, when he talks about like what everyone turns into, because he says like everyone becomes one, and then he's like, well, Tony goes like, I don't understand. Like, what do you mean? And he shows them this landscape where everyone is turned into these like mindless, immobile, or I don't know if they're immobile, but like crystal figures.
Yeah, they're not immobile, but they almost kind of look like let me see if I can find that page, like four-legged beasts. Like, I thought of like a crystal wolf or something.
Yeah.
You can kind of see that on there, but they're really hard to it was hard for me to tell at first that they were individual beings. I thought they were just piles of crystals or something.
Right, which
I think is
worse.
the point.
Yeah.
And then, Tony obviously, rebukes Korvac and tells him that, like, this is not a utopia. Like, no emotion, no feeling, no individualism is not utopia. It's the opposite of utopia. And of course, that that triggers Korvac, and he says, "You know what? Fuck it. We're not going to deal with these guys anymore. Turn the ship around. We're going to start shooting them." And right about that time, Tony gets just completely teleported off of his ship, and ends up on a planet that his suit can't identify whatsoever, and comes across a team of aliens. I don't know if we're supposed to know who these guys are. I don't recognize any of them in the slightest bit.
I felt like the one that talks, like the robot-looking dude, he talks in like Old English.
Oh, well, he's supposed to talk like a Canadian.
Okay, there you go.
That's why Tony goes, "Are you
Canadian?"
Canadian?
Yeah.
So that felt a little rushed, but it's because the strength of this book isn't the I would say hardcore progression of the story. We didn't get a bunch of punching. We didn't really get any action whatsoever. But I absolutely love what Christopher Cantwell has done for 7 issues now, and it's go beyond just the typical comic book. We're not just fighting. We're not just having like, the conversation with Korvac is really interesting, and
it's interesting, but I thought for me, like, and I think you were alluded to this you were going to touch on the end of this, is the conversation that our Z team really is having at the back of the spaceship.
Yeah.
Because they really, if anything, they carry the philosophical issue of this book.
They for a minute there, they tackle a topic which I think creates such a conundrum black hole sort of situation in comic books. The Frogman basically says, like, okay, what are we, like, god fighters? And Misty Knight says, can someone even tell me what God means in this universe? Like, are we talking about Jehovah, Yahweh, Allah, Buddha, Thanos?
Yeah, that when I saw that, I was like, that's hilarious.
But she's like, seriously, like, is God an android, a celestial, a glove with a bunch of gems in it? Like, what is, there's a lot of these deep philosophical things that people think about in real life today that on a context with superheroes, like what does any of this stuff mean,
Right.
And Gargoyle gives like a really poignant answer, and he basically says, like, God is balance, and balance is a delicate thing. It's always going back and forth. One side is always gaining more power than the other, and it's our job to consistently rebalance. It's our job to always make sure that the universe is in harmony.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought it fit the story really well. It didn't feel like an awkward conversation, and I think Christopher Cantwell is doing a really good job of making, like, who the hell is Gargoyle? Like, what is he from? What does he do? Like, I don't fucking know. But like, he just had one of the best lines that I've read in a comic book in 2021. And I think the fact that Christopher Cantwell is having, getting you to care about these characters, and they're having good conversations. I don't know. I really enjoy it.
The other conversation I like that happens in that little, like, between Gargoyle and all of them is the one where, when you said, like, seriously, is God an android, a celestial, or a gem? And then Frogman goes, are you talking about a god or the god? And she goes, is there a difference or a point? And Scarlet goes, it's all cells and molecules and atoms. You are the sum total of muscular reflexes holding your body together that ends up thinking it's something, which is to say someone. And Misty goes, so the idea of me is like a side effect of being alive. And Scarlet goes, exactly, hard science, that is. And Frogman, this joke is so good. Frog goes, hear that? The test tube clone says it's just science. And Scarlet's like,
yeah, look, man,
bro, come on. Like, you can't decide how your cards are dealt. No, I agree with you. I think this book had, very little action, if any, but the conversations in the book were very deep and very good. And I never read it and was like, this is boring. Like, it was,
no, not.
It was good.
Bit. Well, and I think if you're I'm sure we've said this at some point in 7 issues, but if you're just only looking for Bang Bang Pow, Christopher Cantwell's Iron Man probably isn't for you.
No.
But
I mean, it has its moments, but it's not. That's not the main directive of this book.
it's not. Also, I like this the inclusion of Hellcat here too. I'm not familiar with her as a character.
Yeah.
Before this run, but
she's getting her ass kicked in the series. Like she's gonna need some serious help after this book. Lou, yes, it is an Alex Ross cover.
Mhm.
Alex Ross is currently doing Iron Man, Immortal Hulk,
Captain America,
and then he has a Marvel series, and then he has The Marvels, which is coming out next week or next month, I believe. So he's doing a bunch of covers for Marvel. You can't go wrong with an Alex Ross cover. You just can't. Even if the book's terrible, you can't.
Issue 1, Lou, I don't know if you've seen it or not, but look up issue 1. It shows the redesign that Alex Ross did for Iron Man's suit.
Yeah, it's really good.
It is amazing. Anyway, that's my pick of the week. As someone who's reading history is much more prose based than comics. I've read books, novels far longer than I have read comics. I love it when someone gets all philosophical and
well, and does it the right way. They're not. It's not like.
Well,
I feel like
right. It's not preachy. It's not like Christopher Cantwell is trying to make some type of religious
no.
Preaching to you or something. It's just it's good conversation that
it's like something you'd overhear at like a Starbucks. Like that's how it feels, and that's not a bad thing.